Even if you can't name any of the films produced by the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer film studio, you definitely know the legendary logo with the roaring lion. And if until 2021 filmmakers used a real lion to shoot this logo, starting from this year they replaced it with a digital double. In other words, the roaring predator was completely drawn on a computer. The updated version can be seen for the first time before the new James Bond movie No Time to Die. This is truly amazing considering that the previous lion that roared in the logo was filmed back in the late 1950s and has not been changed since, despite technological progress. Originally, the lion appeared in 1917 as the logo of the Goldwyn Pictures Company, which then merged with two others and became known as Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer or simply MGM. The lion remained on the logo, and despite the fact that at the beginning of the movie, viewers saw him roar and shake his head, they did not hear the sound of the roar, and all because the movie was silent at that time. As soon as sound recording became possible, the lion on the MGM logo began to roar loudly. This happened in 1928. In total, 7 different lions were involved in shooting the logo for MGM over several decades. Apparently, filming of wild animals was not an easy task. The last of the lions, as I already mentioned, appeared in the logo in the late 1950s. By the way, the Latin phrase above the lion's head can be translated as art for art's sake. All of you have seen this famous castle. It is the image that starts off Disney's movies such as Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Pirates of the Caribbean, and many other projects. However, only those who have been to the famous Disneyland amusement park have been able to see this castle in person. It stands at the entrance and is the first thing that everyone who visits Disneyland sees. It is an excellent marketing solution because when you see the same image at the beginning of your favorite movies, you will surely want to visit this place in reality. However, despite the almost century-long history of Disney, its movies began to start with this image relatively recently. Until the mid-1980s, it was a simple inscription that read Walt Disney Presents, which could vary slightly depending on the movie. Then the castle appeared on the screen, which changed over the years due to technological advancements. It's no secret that Disney owes its success to fairy tale princesses. It is the Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella castles that served as the basis for the image on the logo. By the way, not many people know that the Cinderella castle exists in reality, or rather its prototypes. To create this fairy tale building, the creators took real castles, such as Pierrefonds and Versailles in France or the famous Neuschwanstein in Germany. Nowadays, the creators of Disney movies often slightly modify the logo depending on the film. For example, before the movie Frankenweenie, you can see a darker version of the logo, while the movie Christopher Robin, about the author of Winnie the Pooh, starts differently. However, almost every film will have its more or less insignificant differences. If you like Disney movies, then give it a like and let's move on. The famous woman with a torch on the Columbia Pictures movie studio logo has been seen by many people many times. But who is this woman? Well, Columbia is the name of a fictional heroine who is the female personification of the United States of America. Many of you may know the male personification, Uncle Sam. However, Columbia is not as well known. That's why originally on the company's logo, you could see a woman with a torch wrapped in an American flag. By the way, you've probably seen the torch before on the famous Statue of Liberty. Later, the woman on the logo changed slightly, became colored, and the American flag was replaced with a plain colored background. In the early 1980s, there was a small but remarkable event. The woman with the torch began to resemble a classic Coca-Cola glass bottle in shape. At that time, Columbia Pictures was bought out by the famous soft drink manufacturer, and thus they decided to reflect this event in the movie studio's logo. The modern Columbia Pictures logo was drawn in the early 90s. An artist was given the task of updating the logo. He took a similar-looking girl and hired her to pose in the studio. Her name was Jenny Joseph. The girl remembered that everything happened very quickly. Literally during a lunch break, she was brought into the studio, wrapped in fabric, and given an ordinary desk lamp to hold. Since then, the logo on Columbia Pictures movies has not changed significantly. The only thing now is that there is the Sony company inscription at the bottom because Columbia Pictures now belongs to them. Pixar's animated movies are loved by both adults and children, but almost nobody except for devoted fans knows what that desk lamp is that jumps around in the opening before the films. In 1986, a 2-minute short film called Love Joe Jr. was released. It told the story of a big and a small desk lamp, one of which jumps up and down in place. Today, this short film doesn't look like anything exceptional, but in the mid-1980s, it was a real breakthrough in the field of computer animation. At that time, all animation was two-dimensional and drawn by hand. For the young company Pixar, this was their first job that had to demonstrate the potential of new technology in the production of cartoons, and they succeeded. Since then, Pixar has become possibly the world's most famous animation studio. It's no wonder that the character from this short film became the company's symbol. By the way, you can easily find the 2-minute short film on YouTube and watch it. The famous DreamWorks Pictures studio logo featuring a boy fishing on a crescent moon is well known to everyone. You can see it, for example, in all parts of the Shrek animated movie. The renowned director Steven Spielberg was one of the studio's founders in the mid-90s. By the way, it was his idea to create the logo, although initially it was supposed to be a man sitting on the moon. However, the artist who drew the logo, Robert Hunt, suggested changing the man to a boy and used his own son as a model. Since Steven Spielberg is one of the founders of the studio, many of his films begin with this logo. By the way, let's hold a vote in the comments under the video. Write the name of your favorite film director, and let's see who is the most popular among the audience. Paramount Pictures, one of the oldest Hollywood studios, practically from its founding, had a mountain with stars on its logo. Interestingly, the stars were not just a random decoration. The reason is that almost 100 years ago, when it was a young company, it had contracts with 24 actors, or 24 stars. Therefore, the logo had exactly 24 stars. Later, they became 22 and have remained so to this day. Initially, the mountain on the logo was just a fictional mountain, not copied from any specific one. However, in the latest version of the Paramount Pictures logo, they used the famous Everest Peak as a basis. Universal Pictures, or simply Universal, is the oldest Hollywood studio. Today, it is not only a movie studio, but also a large theme park in Los Angeles. Reminiscent of Disneyland, Planet Earth has always been the main detail on the studio's logo, and the name Universal Pictures appeared around the planet, similar to the rings of Saturn. Starting from the 1920s and for several decades, a plane circled around the globe, and then the Universal name appeared. Later, they stopped using the plane. Interesting fact, in recent decades, there was a sunrise on the studio's logo, but not long ago, it was replaced with a sunset. Not everyone knows that the famous Warner Brothers studio was created by immigrants from the Russian Empire. The parents of the 4 Warner Brothers emigrated to the United States in the 19th century. Warner Brothers began using a shield with the first letters of their first and last name almost from the beginning of the company. This was the first Hollywood film studio to feature music in its opening credits. It was Warner Brothers that released the first ever sound film in the late 1920s. Before that, movies were silent. Movie buffs surely recognize the logo of Castle Rock Entertainment, which features a lighthouse. It was this company that produced movies such as The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and dozens of others. And the logo has a hidden meaning. Initially, the company specialized in adaptations of the works of the famous horror writer Stephen King. Castle Rock is a fictional town from King's works, and the lighthouse in the logo is an important element from the 1993 film Needful Things, which, as you might have guessed, is also based on a Stephen King novel. Don't forget to like if you found this video interesting. Also subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to always stay updated on new videos, and of course, share this video with your friends.